Hello, I'm Linda from paperboutique.blogspot.com. I am so loving my Imagine and can't wait to show you this new technique that's going to make you love your Imagine even more. I know I do. Today we're going to be using the Imagine to actually print on transparencies to create our own overlays. And here's the card we're going to be making, and it prints beautifully on the transparencies. Before we move to the Imagine, I would like to mention a couple of important things about printing on transparencies. For this project, I use these inkjet transparencies from Labelon. Let me get that in focus for you. I'm not sure that they're still available. These are some I've had in my stash for a number of years. However, I did a little bit of research, and you can purchase Apollo Quick Dry inkjet printer transparency film online from Staples. And the good news is it's $24.99 for 50 sheets. So you really have to shop around for the inkjet transparency film because it's usually a lot more expensive than that. So once again, it's Apollo Quick Dry inkjet printer transparency film from Staples online. And your local Staples may have it. Ours didn't, but yours might. One other clue when you're printing on the transparencies, there's two sides to the inkjet transparencies, and one is super shiny. Well, they're both shiny, but one has a little bit more of a rough texture. Make sure that you print on the rougher side of the transparency, and I'm sure the box will have that. Will have the instructions for you. Well, at this point, I'd like to move to the Imagine and show you how I printed and cut this cute card. As you can see, I've gone ahead and loaded the George and Basic Shape cartridge into the left side of the Imagine, and I loaded my new Audrey Art cartridge into the right side of my Imagine. For this project, we're going to be using the rectangle, and we're going to go ahead and edit it and click on the pencil. And for this particular card, I made the rectangle 5.3 inches long. We're going to end up trimming some of it off, but in order for it to be 3 3/4 inch wide, I needed to make the rectangle a little bit longer. Well, let's go ahead and flood fill it, and I hope you can see some of these images. They're just beautiful. I'm going to click on this one so you can see. That's not the one I used, but look how beautiful that image, and that's the Audrey cartridge. I used the black and white, so we'll just go ahead and click on it. And then I'll hit apply, and next. And a couple of things I want to mention when you are actually cutting the transparencies. The speed is going to be at 3. I had my blade also set at 3 and the pressure at 3. It really does deliver a super, super nice cut. Also, we'll go to settings. And for doing overlays, it's important that you use the best quality and the glossy, and then just go ahead and click apply. I was amazed how beautiful transparencies work on the Imagine. Go ahead and click next. Well, I will go ahead and cut, and then we'll get back together to assemble our card. Now let's go ahead and assemble our card. The first thing you'll need to do in making this card is to trim your overlay, which is obviously this piece, to 3 3/4 by 4 1/4 inches to fit your card base. And the card base this particular card base is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And just one of the things I want to mention, I find it challenging when I'm trimming the overlays because sometimes they want to slide and move while you're trying to cut them. However, I take a piece of cardstock and put it underneath the overlay, and then I use just a little binder clip on the side so it doesn't shift while I cut it, and you get a really nice smooth cut. Next, I attached this overlay using vellum glue dots, and I tried to do it where it was a little bit darker on the top so you wouldn't see them. And I think right now vellum glue dots are my favorite. However, there's this new adhesive, and I hope you can see that, and it's called mono vellum adhesive, and I also use some of this on the card, I still liked my vellum glue dots, but if you use this on a darker portion of the card, it doesn't show. But be careful when you use this, obviously not to use it on a super clear portion of the overlay. Then I just used my corner chomper and rounded the bottom corners. I added rhinestones here. They're just Kaiser rhinestones, and they help hold down the overlay. The less glue you can use, the better. And it was just super simple. I added a rub-on, and I got the inspiration for this card from the current issue of Paper Crafters magazine. I loved the idea. And one last thing, I know I said it when I was at the Imagine, but this Audrey Imagine cartridge is beautiful. The papers are just exquisite. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching, and please check out my blog at www.paperboutique.blogspot.com for more projects and ideas. Bye-bye.